round one of Texas Off-Road Championship. I'm racing both Saturday and Sunday. This is the Sunday race. I really messed up the start yesterday, was last off the line, so hopefully I can redeem myself. I'm on the 4-stroke today, so let's go to the line, get this thing done. All right, we nailed that start. Yes. Have somebody trying to pass us on the outside there. These braking bumps were atrocious, but this guy got the smooth line coming in from the outside and he passed me. Closed him a little bit in this section, but in these next two straights, I didn't do a very good job of going the full stop on the throttle. And I let go way too early there too. So that was really good redemption from Saturday where I got an awful start. It was last off the line. Pulling the whole shot here on Sunday was just really good feeling. So if you saw my video from Saturday, I made a couple mistakes on the first lap. So my thinking here is we need to follow this guy. He's getting around lap traffic pretty quickly, so I need to follow him and do the same, but I also need to avoid any dumb mistakes on the first lap. Keep it clean, keep it clean. I'm trying to let that guy know I'm coming. But I wasn't close enough. Different class. So hard to pass through here. And he's holding me up for sure. Go! Different class, dude! I ripped these next couple turns. Big mistake coming up. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh. No. There goes the guy I just passed. Another guy, and then that guy in the green dot's in my class. So that knocks me back to third. I guess I just leaned the bike too much right into that tree. I have no other explanation. Just a really dumb mistake, and now I'm mad at myself too. Alright, breathe, breathe, regroup, regroup. Alright, right back into second. That was nice. In previous years, that would have just flustered me, kind of ruined the whole day. Alright, what's this? The guy in first place is taking a piss over in the woods. Yes! up into first place. Let's do this. Here comes the hard easy split that they forced all the C riders to take over on the easy split, so it's pretty much just hold it wide open and brake for these 2 turns. That little goalie, or whatever you want to call it, it got me every time. I just need to learn how to wheelie to get over stuff like that. Almost every time I would hit the bar pad. What was really funny is on Saturday's race, I got the GoPro caught up in the bar pad. It was like connected for a few seconds. Okay, so I'm in first place now, but during the race, I didn't know I was in first place. I'm still trying to catch the guy who I think is in first. I didn't see him over on the side over there until I watched the film back.
Different class! Different class! Different class!
So obviously I need a louder voice. I thought about passing him there on the left, right there. Or I need a horn. I gotta let people know we're there.
Different class! Thank you!
This section's so fun. And let me tell you, it was so much fun to ride. But it really is a no passing zone. If somebody's gonna go right down the middle, there has to be a significant speed difference for you to pass them, at my level. I think I left some on the table there. I could have gone faster through that section. Didn't have my watch on today, but I was riding a bike on Saturday that had a speedometer on it. It showed me going 33 through these wooded sections here, which is really good for me. I don't ever recall going that fast through the woods. My bike will actually go that fast in second gear, but that's bouncing off the rev limiter. And I think it's a lot more smooth if I ride in third gear and just lug a little, try to keep a constant speed. Really, really trying hard not to brake so much going into some of these turns. Trying to carry as much momentum as I can. That's something that I've been working on for about 3-4 months. The last TX2 race I did in January at McMahon's Ranch was one that, it was one of the first races where I really tried to not use the front brake, except in a few turns where I was just coming in really hot. That seemed to make a big difference too. I don't know what that was. Like, I guess I just didn't lean the bike far enough. The bike didn't want to turn, and I didn't want to get on the throttle until the bike was turning. The guy behind me was paying attention. He probably could have passed me there. Whoa, 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 I don't know what that was, but I almost killed myself. Not killed myself, but I almost wrecked. I guess the landing I hit a little too hard or just wasn't expecting, didn't brace properly. I don't know what happened. Really putting the suspension to work in this race. You can see it's just choppy. Which basically forced me to stand almost the entire race. Comes an open section. Just need some good lines through here. And that was a bad line right there. Stayed way too far to the inside. So speaking of standing, we had a race a couple years ago at a place called Powell Ranch, and it was so choppy. It was beyond choppy. There were braking bumps, acceleration bumps, and bumps in the middle of the corner too. And this was like through the woods too, through the single track. And I didn't know how to really stand and race through all that stuff. I didn't know how to do standing corners at that point, so I was sitting through all of it. And at the end of the 80 minutes or whatever, I was so sore. I was just like, oh, I cannot do this again. So after that, watched some videos, found a good one from Chris Birch from New Zealand, and just practicing standing corners after that. And so when I do a race like this and I'm kind of forced to stand through most of it, I'm not as fast as if I'm sitting, but I'm a lot closer. I think it'll probably take me another year or so to just be on par, sitting, standing. But the confidence is definitely getting up there. This half of the course, I think this is on the west side, it's just tighter. It doesn't flow as well, and you have to slow down a lot more for some of those turns. Line through here over the tree, and the kids are pointing to it, but I went around. I didn't hit it during practice, and I missed a line there too. I don't know what I'm doing here. Come on, get through that sand. Yeah, over the years, the sand has been a big nemesis of mine, but I'm getting more comfortable in it. That one was pretty ugly. So on Saturday practice, somebody was stuck in the mud going around that lake or that pond. Definitely wanted to not chance it too much there. So that's the end of lap 1. And this will be my fastest lap of the race right here, lap 2. Really needed to drift outside there to avoid those big braking bumps. So what's kind of an eerie feeling here is I looked behind me when I got to that open section, and there wasn't anybody behind me. So as I said, I think I'm in second, but I'm like, well, where's third, fourth, and fifth? And they're just not there. I still think I'm trying to catch first place though. I'm in second gear here. It's just not as smooth. Yeah, those fuel injected 4-strokes, when you let off the throttle, you just get lurched forward, and it creates really bumpy. At some point in this lap, there's going to be a guy who gets attached to my rear wheel. And I tried to listen to him on the video, but I couldn't really hear him. I could hear him during the race. Like, I think he was on a 450 or a 350. he was stuck to my rear wheel like this. So if I hear it during this playback, I'll try to point it out. But he must have had a bad start and had to come through the pack. That was a nice turn right there. Got onto the throttle right at the apex. A lot of people were going right there. I felt like left was just a little bit smoother. Alright, now coming up is where I crashed in lap 1. Yeah, I don't know if you heard going over that log, but I heard an engine rev, and a quick look back there confirmed that he's there. So in this race we have dots on the back of our helmet and on our front number plate. So I can see what color dot he is, and I know he's in my class. Previously I was riding trying to catch what I thought was first place, and now I'm riding, I wouldn't necessarily say defensively, but with a little bit more urgency to hold this guy off, but also being careful not to wreck and let him by. John Gentry, one of the top pros in this series. He also races TCCRA in North Texas. He's pretty much on the rev limiter the whole race. One thing I noticed watching back some of these flowy sections is I got a lot better momentum coming out of some of these turns than I used to have in the past couple of years. So that's really encouraging to see that improvement and the progress that I've been making, putting all the practice in. Hear that other engine, it's still right there. Little blip of the throttle to get over that hole at the top of that hill just saves you one pounding on the front forks, front suspension. did say at the beginning of this lap, this was my fastest lap, so I think this lap was about 15 to 20 seconds faster than my fastest lap on the two-stroke that I rode the previous day. So that I was on a 150, and that bike is so much fun to ride. It's so light. I definitely think I don't ride it like a two-stroke should be ridden. I ride it more like a four-stroke, which is obviously not, now we're not comparing apples to apples, but I definitely can tell the difference. I'm getting out of the corners faster on this bike, and that's probably where that 15 to 20 seconds got made up. Now on the flip side, my lap times were all 4 laps were closer together on that bike. So I didn't trail off as much at the end of the race as I did on this one. Now I don't know if that's so much as this is a 4-stroke and I just got more tired riding it, or if it's Sunday, I had raced the previous day. Oh, I hit neutral there. Yeah, I don't know if it's... I messed up that corner so many times on both days. Just too much rear brake. You know, you're on the lean and you don't want to grab a whole bunch of front brake and let it tuck, but man, you just gotta learn to do those corners better. Yeah, so anyway, there could be a myriad of factors to racing the second day, having a few beers on Saturday night, whatever it is. My lap times were about 45 seconds from fastest lap to slowest lap on Sunday here. So I really need to work on tightening that up and getting those more consistent. Let's not kill ourselves here. Yep. Okay, that was clean. There's some rocks here on this turn on the inside. And I didn't wear my elbow pads this day on Sunday because they had started sliding down my arm on yesterday or the previous day, and I fell there during practice and landed on one of the huge rocks right on my elbow, like Murphy's Law. It's crazy. Luckily I didn't injure myself. Yeah, I don't know why I fell. I think I was following my son, and it was his first time through the course, and we slowed down a little too much there, and I just didn't catch myself. Coming up to an open section here, really got to try to execute this well to keep this big 4-stroke behind me. Gonna sweep to the outside to have a good entrance to the open section. Closed him off there, so that's good. I saw him trying to pass me on the outside. And then he just... it's too much for me. He had a good run around that corner. He must have gone outside in and then cut underneath me. Sand whoops coming up here. Yeah, I heard somebody behind me and going through those turns in the woods before the sand whoops, and I looked back. Somebody who's not in my class but was right on my wheel, so I decided to slow up a little before we went back into the woods and let him by. I think he's in first place in 50C, which is the class that started 30 seconds behind me. Big root right there on that hill. Just so happy that wasn't wet. If it was wet, our rear tires would have just slid off of that hill. So this is Tim right there, who's down on that YZ250, and he's in the row in front of me in 30C. He'll come back into play in lap 4, so we'll wait a little bit until we bring him back up. I'm trying to hurry here. I need to catch this guy. I need to catch a tow with this really fast 50C guy. This section right here was flat on Saturday, but on Sunday it just had a little rut forming, and I just kind of butchered it all day on Sunday. I wasn't able to stay on the throttle consistently. I kept chopping it, which is something I've been practicing, trying to get rid of that habit, but definitely butchered it. That's another guy in 50C. So not in my class. I think there were 4 guys in 50C that made up that 30 seconds and ended up passing me. There's another one. Oh, I watched a video from one of the guys in 50C, and they got held up on their first lap. Like they got held up by one of the 30C guys, I think, or maybe it was somebody from my class, but there's just no passing in that zone, and they were actually going pretty slow for probably like maybe 5 minutes on the first lap. This is a tricky little turn. Don't want to use much front brake there. You want to get on the throttle, but you also don't want to let the rear slide out too much. So there's the guy in first place right there. He fell. He fell in turn 1. So I'm thinking, hey, let's stay with him. But I'll tell you what, if I'm not going to be aggressive in the open section like I just rode there, then I'm not going to be able to catch people. And so I know what I need to work on. 2 things that I need to work on from this race. When I come out of a corner, twist the throttle to the full stop, and secondly, hold on to that longer to the next turn. If I can do those 2 things, and I'm not saying like in sections like this, but definitely in a lot of the turns, I think I can make up 10-15 seconds per lap easy.
Woo!
I've always been a little bit wary of overgripping, because one time I tried it and I whiskey throttled when I was first learning how to ride, so I've never really been gung-ho about trying it or practicing it, but I definitely do need to do it. What happens on the... I put the mellow throttle cam in, and maybe I either need to, one, switch back to the stock throttle cam, or potentially just learn how to overgrip, because I can't, with my wrist angle, it's really actually difficult to have a normal grip and then twist it to full stop. Not a problem in this section, but when you get to some of these sections where you want more power, you definitely need it. Alright, so that's David. He ends up getting 4th in 50C. Not in my class again. Definitely huge improvements, because even just as short as a year or two ago, I was having 50C riders pass me on the first lap, or catch me on the first lap. So having it happen at the end of lap 2, beginning of lap 3 is a big improvement for me. I'm actually going to be in that class next year, so I looked at their lap times. I definitely have some time to make up before I go up to that class. And it's not insurmountable. It's 15 to 30 seconds per lap on a 15-16 minute lap. I can tell for sure, though, that the aggression has subsided a little. And if I had to venture a guess, I would most likely guess it's probably a fitness issue. I was dealing with a little bit of arm pump on lap 1, which it didn't fully set in. So what I mean by that is I could still use the clutch and the brake and everything and function properly, but I could tell if I continued riding like I was, I would have gotten like full arm pump. And so what I did was I just focused on powering forward out of the corners, like really just over-exaggerating, getting my head over the bars, and when I'm standing, just getting my body position as far forward as possible just to take the pressure off my arms. And that did help a lot. Like, so by the end of lap 1, that was gone, which is great.
Different class. Thank you.
But I would say the lack of aggression here is mostly due to fatigue. I've been racing in this other series, which is 2 30-minute motos, not back to back, but there's a 45-minute break in between. So you can pretty much sprint for 30 minutes, catch your breath, rest up, and then do it again for another 30 minutes. This one is a 70-minute timed event, so you end up going for like 80 minutes. And I'm 32, 33 minutes into the race now, where I'm kind of hitting a wall, which is probably to be expected because that's the amount of time that I'm used to sprinting. And so I have some work to do. I have some fitness work to do, and I've been doing that since mid-January, so it's not like something that I'm not aware of. But it's going to take probably 8 to 10 weeks to fully realize the benefits of that work that I've been putting in. Yeah, this is like 20 miles per hour, probably 25. Should definitely be north of 30 through here. There is something that happens on lap 4 that you'll see where I get a fire lit under my ass and I do go a lot faster. We'll wait a little bit to see what happens there. That I've had to teach myself over the past couple of years. Oh, almost totally lost it there.
Almost tucked it there.
Yeah, I said I almost tucked it there, like the front end really almost tucked, and I'm getting good about when I come into a situation like that, twisting the throttle more just to get out of it, which is the opposite of what you normally want to do. Normally your instinct is to brake, which is the worst thing to do. But I've always been a little bit skittish ever since I learned to ride a dirt bike about using my throttle on the lean, or when I'm leaning the bike in a corner, and I've slowly overcome that hesitation to not do that. I've just gotten a little bit better, and I got a long way to go too. Like if you look at the B riders, they are just leaning way farther than me, and they're on the throttle too, and their rear end is just dancing all around. It's dancing outside, inside, and yeah, if I want to get to that level, I got a long ways to go. Right here is where I almost wrecked on lap 1 going over this little jump. Yeah, I don't know what that was. That little hesitation is going to cost me at some point. Mental errors, I guess. Just need to stay sharper during the races. see me getting my head forward. The camera's on my chest. Like just sitting right on top of my pec. So if like I can see the number plate on the camera, then my head is just way over the number plate, which is good when I'm accelerating. Still going too far to the inside on that entry to the little chicane. That's a mental mistake. I just need to have a better entry. I promise I'll go through here faster on lap 4. This is painful to watch though, just coming from the speed that I was going through here on laps 1 and 2. Here there's a bike behind me. I'm not letting him by. This is the section that I just butchered on Sunday. Should be able to just stay on the throttle there. This guy heard us coming and gets over. That was nice of him. I don't know where I'm going. Leaving the inside way open, and there goes second place. So that was the guy that passed me in turn 2 and then got off the trail on lap 1. If I looked at the lap times, he actually had negative splits, so his slowest 2 laps were laps 1 and 2, and his fastest 2 laps were 3 and 4, which is the opposite of what I did. Oh, he actually did a 5th lap. He must have got in right under the wire to do a 5th lap. But yeah, so my fastest laps were 1 and 2, and my slowest were 3 and 4. Not sure what class that guy's in. But I shouldn't be going to that far to the outside in turn 1, I'll tell you that. That's just giving up too much room. I think my main focus right now on this point of the race is keep it on 2 wheels. And keeping the GoPro lens clean. One of the things that I noticed at the end of this race is I didn't stall at all the entire race, even though I was lugging the bike through a lot of the sections of this course. And that's pretty unusual for me. If I'm gonna be in third like this a lot, going through these slower corners, I'll stall it sometimes. And I did this in practice where I just kind of told myself I'm gonna have to use the clutch a lot more if I'm gonna ride like this. So I'm definitely clutching a lot more than I normally do, especially in a corner like this when I know I have to go slower. And that definitely helped a lot with the stalls. So no stalls this entire race, which was good. Like going into a turn like that where I had to go in between those 2 trees, I'll click down in a second. If I tried that in third, I would stall for sure. Finally, on lap 4, decided to take that line. Guess better late than never. But I need to be looking for those lines. Now watch this, I butcher this section.
Oh, come on. Somebody's getting tired.
I don't know if you heard that, but I said somebody's getting tired, and it's true, the arms are just starting to feel like noodles. You take a lot of abuse on this course, lap after lap. And I feel like I have decent suspension, but it's definitely not A-kit suspension. I want to ask some of the top riders, like the pros or the A riders, did they feel all the bumps on this course? Because I feel them. Like you can see the handlebars even now coming out of that corner, jumping up and down. I'm sure there were some guys out there who had their suspension set up perfectly, where they just were able to go over all that chop and just have it feel like they're on a pillow. Not me. This is a 2019, so I'm still on the air forks. I did loosen up the compression, or I guess I turned out the compression 3 clicks before practice. Knew it was going to be choppy. Just trying to give myself some extra comfort. I still had some room to travel, like probably 2.5 inches of travel left in the forks. Probably could have gone out a few more clicks. The suspension guys say go based on your comfort level, not based upon like the travel indicators. And I could say it definitely was not comfortable. Keep it on 2 wheels through that section, not run into any trees. So this first half of lap 4 was probably similar to lap 3, and then we'll run into a situation here right in the middle of lap 4 where I kick it into gear. I find like a burst of adrenaline, so that's coming up in a couple minutes. I think all 4 laps I had room for improvement on that straight. Here's Gil, I'll give him a thumbs up. He set the course up, and I just wanted to let him know that this was so much fun. This course right here is why we ride our dirt bikes. There was not a boring part of this course. It was up, down, left, right, tight. We had corners that were sweeping. I just missed that line every single time. Should have taken it. We had sweeping corners, tight corners. We had just everything you could ask for. I would have liked to at least tried the hard line. Probably should have gone and practiced in the AB section and tried it just to see what it was like, see if I could do it. But I'm only doing 1 practice lap. didn't get a chance to do that. Yeah, I looked for Gil after the race to thank him, but couldn't find him. He's busy. I mean, he's trying to run a race, and the AB race is after this. So he was actually probably on the line because his son is racing in that race. Oh my God, look at that. I don't know what that was. I guess I just thought I was going to miss the corner, so I just went around that little tree. Actually, both of his sons are racing now in the B race. One's in A and one's in B. I did a race last October, where one of his sons was in my class. I raced down in 30C, and he was coming back from a knee injury. It was in that race, so I had forgotten that he moved back up to B class now. Still sanding on the pegs on lap 4, that's good. Quads are in good shape. Been working, been lifting, been working out, lifting, so happy to see that. All right, here we go. I'm gonna see my son coming up in this corner, and I stop to see if he's okay. He's looking up at the sky. Should be moving. Now watch, there's a white helmet that comes through this little valley there. You see that? Okay, so that's Tim, the guy I saw wrecked on lap 1 or 2 in one of those creek sections. And he's in the line ahead of me. But on his number plate, he had a green looking dot. Now, I saw it and I'm like, oh shit, he's in my class and he's about to pass me, so I gotta go. Now, his wife and I were looking at the dots after the race. She's like, yeah, they're close, but like his is a little bit different. I couldn't tell the difference. They looked green to me. And Tim, if you're watching, I think you might have grabbed the wrong dots, but anyway, it's okay. This was fun. Like, I know I'm in 3rd place here. Actually, I think I'm in either 3rd or 4th. And all of a sudden, I think there's somebody in my class right behind me. So, big rush of adrenaline, and just picked up the speed a lot more, but still trying not to crash too. See if I can take some good lines through this open section. Gotta come into the outside of this next turn, this left-hander right here. No, still just kind of taking a bad line through there. So it's funny, after the race, I asked him, like, are you in my class? He's like, no. And I said, oh, I thought you were trying to pass me. He's like, oh yeah, I was just trying to race you for fun. So, it was fun. It's kind of hard to pick up the 2-stroke in the GoPro audio, but I can hear it. Like, he's on a YZ250, and he's right behind me. See, going a lot faster through this section than I did on lap 3. Can't win little hill, but you can definitely lose it. So I take it slow. No one's gonna pass me. Bike is so about to stall through some of those turns. You can hear it. It wants to click and stall, and then it catches itself. Little sense of urgency there. That's good to see. So the moral of the story is, if I get a burst of adrenaline, I can kick it into another gear. It's good to know. Oh, I got cross-rutted on that rut. One tire was in, one was out. Still could hold on longer there with some more aggressive braking at the end. I need to not rely so much on the engine braking. Alright, I learned from my mistake last lap and took the inside finally on that turn and in this turn. Have to hit this sand turn decently to not let him by. Didn't get the inside rut, but I got the middle one, which was nice. I'm kind of freaking out because I'm trying to get around this guy.
Different class! Different class! Whoa!
Watch the front end. I almost wreck it right there. And coming out of this corner, I'm going to get pretty squirrely. So I didn't record a post-race video on this race, but this was so much fun. Had great fun racing all weekend. It was nice racing the 2-stroke, then the 4-stroke. You can hear that 2-stroke right behind me now. So this is my first podium in TORCS, and I was so stoked to be on the podium finally in this race, or in this series. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel.